Good evening, everybody. It's Cutler. Some of you guys call me the Let's Talk to Cutler guy, but as you know, I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday. I'm with you in your living room, your bedroom, your kitchen, your car, your den, your family rooms, whatever space you will allow me to share with you. I'm thankful to share that space. And I tell you what we're going to do. I have a question. I just want to ask you this. I know it's November the 10th, so I have a few questions for you. Do you consider yourself a happy person? Are you more happy or more unhappy? And I'm wondering, if you're happy, what makes you unhappy? And then I want to ask you this. Do you speak up? Are you one of those persons who speak up about a situation? Or if you see something happen, you choose not to say so much? Or do you speak up or do you not? I'm just curious. And then, do you know how to handle the good that you've been given? Listen, you all, I only have 1,800 seconds with you. I have to make every minute matter, every second significant. So I tell you what, I'll be right back in just a moment, and we're going to talk about all of those things. Let's talk to God.
One more thing, like, subscribe and share. Come on, let's talk to God.
All right, I'm back. Again, it's Cutler here, the Let's Talk to Cutler program on the Let's Talk to Cutler format. And so we're here to chat. I want to chat with you. I have those few questions. But before we do, you all know I only have 1,800 seconds with you, and I have to make every moment matter, every second significant. And what I want to do is see who's going to come on in the chat room with me, who's going to be our LTTC VIPs tonight. When I see you, I'm just going to drop your name right on in that chat space tonight. So, be among the first to join the chat. And I'm just going to say, I'm just looking, and I'm just going to drop your name in there because I'm waiting to see who's going to chat with me. And you all know how we do every Tuesday and Thursday. On Tuesdays, I'll read our foundational sayings from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Thursday, I'll read Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday is all day your way. But you all know we are basing our conversation on this book, Billboards to Better, 366 daily sources of motivation and inspiration along the highway of life. It's my 7th book. You can pick it up over on Amazon.com or go over to my website, gbcutler.com. That's gbcutler.com. Of course, you don't need to participate in the conversation, but I hope you'll get it nonetheless, so you can read the quotes and see what are they talking about on that Let's Talk to Color program and that platform. All right, I want to ask you a question as I read our first quote. Are you a happy person? Do you consider yourself a happy person or an unhappy person? I'm going to go right ahead to our first quote for the evening, and it is November the 8th. All right, and it says, sing, even if you can't hit all the notes. Sing even if you can't hit the notes, and just call it a new song. Now, I know some of my friends who can really sing are going to have a heart attack. They're going to have heartache and heartburn because they would probably say, why would you tell people to do that? But what was I thinking when I wrote that? What did I have in mind as I just sort of inscribed that in the pages? I was thinking that I wanted to live unapologetically. I was thinking how I wanted to enjoy every single moment, thinking about the moments where I could just dance in the rain, and thinking about the moments where I could just bake a cake and celebrate my birthday, or just celebrate me whenever I wanted to do so. I was just thinking of random celebrations, just impromptu moments, spontaneous moments to be happy about life, doing those unorthodox things like celebrating Christmas in the middle of July. Listen, I wrote that because I was thinking about being a happy person, thinking about being a happy person. And I wrote it to remind myself that I always want to be happy, that I should be happy, and that I deserve to be happy. I think a lot of times we don't grab hold to the fact that we deserve to be happy, you all. And I want to inspire and motivate you tonight to understand you deserve to be happy. You deserve to laugh, you deserve to dance, and you deserve to sing. You deserve to just really savor the magic of every moment, no matter what the moment holds. You deserve, without interruption, without interception, without intrusion from anybody else, you deserve to be happy. You absolutely deserve it. And I'm telling you all tonight, just reach a resolve where you decide, I am not going to let anybody interrupt my happy space. You have to do that. And when you are singing and dancing from a place of joy, a place of happiness, don't worry about the notes. I know, again, my friends who can sing and who can dance, they're thinking Cutler has lost his mind. But I'm telling you all, don't worry about the steps. Don't worry about the chords. Don't worry about the rhythm. Don't worry about the rhyme when you're dancing from a place of happiness. But focus on the exhilaration of the moment in which you live. Don't lose sight of those moments. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't lose sight of the moment to be able to celebrate you and live in a space that is called happiness. And don't let anybody tell you that you can't sing. Don't let them tell you that you can't dance. You might not be able to dance like Gregory Hines or Fred Astaire, not be able to dance like Debbie Allen, but dance anyway. You might not be able to sing like Whitney Houston or what was his name, Luciana Pavarotti or Aretha Franklin, but sing anyway. Whether you can dance or sing to somebody else's beat or their time, don't worry about it. But keep on dancing, keep on singing, and I'm telling you all, be happy. Live in those moments where you can be happy, because this and I'm going to be transparent with you. Sometimes we have had to contend and fight for what we call a happy space. And when you ascend to that mountain that is called happiness, leave everybody and anybody who's going to try to push you down, knock you down, beat you down, or throw you down, or even bring you down. Because for some of us, getting to that space of happiness was a journey. It has been a journey for some of us, some of the streets that we had to travel, some of the pathways that we had to navigate, some of the hardships that we had to endure just to get to happiness. No one deserves to take that away. Don't give anybody the power to take your happiness away. Just don't do it. Absolutely not. Don't do that. Don't allow them to do it. Do you not know that some people are just miserable, you all? Some people are miserable and they want you miserable too. It is true. Sometimes misery loves company for whatever reason. But not tonight. We are not going to fall for it. If you're miserable, you be miserable all by yourself. Live in your happiness. Live in your happy space. I'm going to tell you, for my own sanity, what I have learned to do, I've learned to carve out a space that is called happiness, even in the middle of every negative situation that I go through. Is everything wonderful? No. Is everything good? No. Is everything optimistic? Absolutely not. But what have I learned in my over half a century on this earth? I've learned to carve out a space that I call my happy space, and I'll put it on reserve so that when life is not so good, I know how to go to that space. I know how to go to that place where I can just separate from the anxiety that I'm dealing with in the moment. And it's what I call my happy space. I've learned to be very restrictive about who I invite and who I allow to come into that space. And you have got to do the same thing. Even before you go there, before you go into that situation, learn to create and carve out a space so that when life is not so good, this is where I go inside of me. And what do you mean, Cutler, when you say that? I mean, create memories. Create monuments of places where you have been. And I mean happy spaces, happy thoughts, happy songs, happy poems, happy readings, all of those things. Create that space where you can go when life is not so good. Because life is not going to be so good all the time. You'll have those deep, dark moments. But I'm telling you, before you go into those deep, dark moments, learn how to create those spaces that will bring you peace, that will bring you laughter, that will bring you joy. And if you want to be happy, you all, I'm going to tell you this. If you want to be happy, stop doing this. Stop doing this. Y'all know I only have 1,800 seconds, but I've got to say this to you all. Stop comparing yourself with other people and learn to appreciate what you have and where you are. Stop comparing yourself with other people and learn to appreciate what you have and where you are in life. Because what do? We compare ourselves with people who seem to have more than we do. We look at the outside of them, we look at the exterior of them, and we will create this facade of who we think they are. And then we compare ourselves to that person or those people. And we forget so many times what I have and who I am and where I am. So I'm telling you all, if you want to be happy, stop doing that. One, don't compare yourself with other people. Appreciate what you have, who you are, and where you are in life. And I guarantee you, you will give thanks and you'll start celebrating. And then you all, another helpful hint so that you don't become an unhappy person. Stop getting psychologically and emotionally stuck where you are. Don't do it to yourselves and don't allow other people to do it. Don't allow them to cause you to become psychologically and emotionally stuck, or as we would say in the country, in a rut. Just don't do it. We've talked about this before. Think and live outside of the box. Be creative. Be imaginative. I'm telling you, do all of that. Be daring. Don't get stuck in a rut. Learn to think and live outside of the box as often as you can. And then here's something else, you all. Here's something else. So that you don't find yourself becoming this unhappy person, stop devoting all of your energy on yesterday and tomorrow. Stop doing that, because we spend a lot of times in the past, we spend a lot of times in the future, and don't forget that there's beauty in this moment right here where you live, where I exist, where I be, where I stand. There is beauty in that moment. I'm telling you, take a few seconds and think where you are right now. There's something beautiful about this moment that you are experiencing. I know there's negativity all around us. Some of us have relatives who are not doing well in terms of health, who may not be doing well in terms of finances, in terms of relationship. I get that. And I don't want to disregard or discard those notions at all. No, that's not what I'm doing. But I want you to look into this moment right now where you are and think and know that there's something magical about this moment. There's something special about this moment. There's something grand and wonderful about the ability to even think in this moment. Do you not know that some people don't have the faculty of their minds? But the ability to stand and to think and to reason, even in this moment, is a beautiful thing. From a very personal space, I wish to God that my grandmother, who's dealing with Alzheimer's, she can't appreciate the beauty of where you now sit and where you stand, just to be able to have the ability to think logically and reasonably. Everybody doesn't have what you have. So while you're comparing yourself to other people, you have something that others don't have. Count your blessings. Let's just count our blessings. I don't mean to sound like I'm fussing, but I want to move you to see what you have, who you are, and where you are in life. And be thankful and to give thanks for the here and the now. Because when we spend so much time dealing with reflection on yesterday and anticipation of tomorrow, we forget the appreciation of now. We got to be better. You don't know, this is Billboards to Better. We're on our way to becoming better each and every day. Let's learn to appreciate the here and now. And at the end of this broadcast, here's what I want you to do. At the end of this broadcast, since we're talking about dancing and singing, I want you to go and find one of your all-time favorite songs. Put that song on and dance and laugh simply because you can. Absolutely. And then I want you to do me a favor. Come back and comment, put it in the comments, the name of the song that you danced to. The name of the song that made you laugh and giggle and smile and chuckle. Just put it on and challenge yourself to be happy. Challenge yourself to be happy. I'm going to move on to the next one, but I'm telling you all, challenge yourself to be happy, all right? Again, this is what we're reading from. I'm going to go to November the 9th. November the 9th. And the quote says, don't play hide and seek with what God said. If you're not holding up the gospel, you're hiding it. The responsibility of the believer is to share the gospel with all people, especially those who don't believe. And when I wrote this, I probably wrote from the perspective that some of you can appreciate, but had not necessarily thought about. I wrote this from the perspective of thinking about people who don't know the good that they ought to do. And then those who know the good that they ought to do and they don't. Because people who know that sharing words could bring about a change, people who have the potential to carry hope in their mouths, but they don't say a word. I wrote it from the perspective of thinking about those kinds of people. Because when you refrain from sharing positivity, and we've seen this over the past few months, when you refrain from sharing positivity, in my mind, sometimes that's equivalent to promoting negativity. When you refrain from sharing positivity, that's just as bad as promoting negativity. And over the past few months, you all, I'm going to tell you all this. I have had people who have become annoyed with me because I reminded them that many times, so often, you all, that silence can be construed as agreement to what's currently going on, to what's currently what's happening. People have gotten annoyed with me for even promulgating that thought. But I don't deviate from it. I don't move from it. If you have the wherewithal to promote positivity, but you say nothing, that's just like, in my mind, promoting and consenting to negativity. If I watch someone knock you down, beat you up, steal your money, and run off, and I say nothing and I do nothing, I mean, I don't even dial 911, I don't even call the police, then my lack of action could possibly suggest that I'm okay with what I just saw. This is just me sharing my thoughts, sharing my heart, sharing my mind with you all, because I'm telling you, if I sat in a restaurant and I watched the customer spit on the server and throw the food and cuss the server out, and I just sat there and I do absolutely nothing, what did my silence just say? What did it just say? If I watch people discriminated against, mistreated, marginalized, oppressed, disproportionately promoted, shot while in the safety of their own home, or pinned down for 8 minutes and 46 seconds with a knee on your neck, yet I say nothing. What have I just said with my actions? And I know you're saying, Cutler, but within the context of what you just wrote, yeah, it is all the same. It is the same application. If I have the hope and the power of the gospel in my mouth and in my heart, but I say nothing, then I am just as bad as the person who spat on the server. I'm not here to make anybody mad. This is really more motivational than inspirational tonight. If I have the hope and the power of the gospel in my mouth, but I say nothing, I'm just as bad as the people who do the discriminating. I'm just as bad as the people who do the shooting. And I'm just as bad as those who would rather pervert the gospel than to promote its beauty and its power. So when you have the capacity and the capability of doing good, do it. Why? Because there's something about being connected to humanity. And there's something about spiritual integrity that requires that we hold ourselves accountable and somewhat responsible for the growth of our brothers and our sisters in this thing that we call the human race. Y'all, I only have 1,800 seconds to be with you. Got to make it all count. So there's some nights that we've gotten the inspirational piece, and there's some times that we have to get and we talk about the things that motivate us and move us and challenge us to become better. What am I sharing with you? I'm sharing with you a reflection of myself. I'm sharing with you a reflection of my own journey. I'm sharing with you a reflection of what I continue to say to myself every day. Have I dotted every I, crossed every T? Absolutely not. Am I still progressing along this journey? Yes, and I'm thankful that you are here with me, because these are things that I'm still working on. But I'm persuaded to be better. I'm motivated to be better. That's why we're here every Tuesday and Thursday night at 8 o'clock. You all make sure, oh my goodness, if you haven't done so, please do me a favor. Do a thumbs up on this conversation if you haven't. So, because the thumbs up just says to YouTube that you like the content that we share and that we talk about. Also, it encourages my heart. It encourages my heart. And I know, there's some things that everybody may not necessarily receive, but the good that you send these messages, take it, share. And if this is your first time, welcome. If this is your first time, welcome. Do me a favor, please subscribe. And then after you subscribe, click on the bell, because the bell will just give you a notification to let you know whenever I'm online. All right. But we're basing our conversation from this book, Billboards to Better. All right. My 7th book that just came out in June of this year. The year is really just flying by. Let's take a look at our last quote for the evening, our last source of motivation and inspiration for the evening. And it's based on today's date, November 10th. It simply says, and here I was talking about the gospel, but it says, promote the gospel, don't pervert it. It is a simple message that's based on a biblical, a scriptural reference. But I really don't know how to say this any other way. You can't take what's good and misuse it. People do that so often. This says, promote the gospel, don't pervert it, don't turn it into something negative or something bad. You cannot take what's good and misuse it. Don't do that. You can't take people who are good and then manipulate them. Don't do that. You can't take good ideas and poison them. I know people do it all the time, but I'm encouraging us and inspiring us and motivating us not to do that. You can't take a worldwide message of hope and twist it for an individual agenda or contort it to benefit just a select few. Cannot do that and not be held accountable for it. You just can't do it. Have you all ever seen people who will take something just beautiful, absolutely beautiful, and make it messy? Let me give you an example that I'm thinking of. People can take the same water and dirt that is meant to provide nutrients to the rose, to the flowers, and to the plants. Take the same water and dirt, and what will they do? They'll turn it into mud and swing it into people's faces and their lives and their homes. Taking something good, perverting it. When you have something good at your disposal, this is why I asked earlier, do you know the good that you have at your disposal, and are you using it for good? When you have something good at your disposal, you have a responsibility to use it for good. I'm telling you, the same mouth that we use to tear people down, we can use that same mouth and tongue to build people up, push them forward, propel them to do better, to be better, to become better, to recognize the better that's in them. The same mouth that can tear them down can build them up. Same hands that we use to rip people's lives apart, we can use them to mend and to heal, put things back together. Same message that we use to beat up and to separate can be used to lift and to unify. We have the wherewithal to do that, you all. And certainly in these days wherein we now live, we are given such wonderful opportunities, beautiful opportunities to do good just for goodness sake. These days, they offer opportunities for us to bring healing and for us to bring hope. These days offer us opportunities for us to beautify and not bastardize. These days offer us opportunities for us to create and not criticize. These days offer us, I'm going to make up a word, offer us opportunities to highlight and not hellify. These days, we have such beautiful opportunities. So my challenge for us today, I only have 1,800 seconds, you all, and so I hope I've made an impression this evening. These days provide us with wonderful opportunities. So my challenge for us today is that we find whatever is in our hands, our homes, and in our hearts, and do good with the good things that we find, if for no other reason than the fact that we are friends of this thing that's called humanity. I am Cutler. I've been with you all for the past 1,800 seconds, and I want to go out by sharing a poem with you because many of the things that we've talked about tonight had such a spiritual reference. I want to share with you a poem that's called Church Folk, sort of tongue in cheek, but it has a little serious kick to it. I want to share that with you. This is in my book, Who We Once Were, which is also available on Amazon as well. It's called Church Folk. Stick with me because this is not an indictment against the church, but listen, find the humor and the seriousness in this. Sickening, just sickening, ain't it? How church folks carry on, created one by one. We should have all been the same. When you persecute me, you could feel my pain. It's a shame how we shout about being set free, but manipulate our brothers and sisters in the name of ministry. It's all about me. It's really not about you. Sad, but it's true. Me and my family to the front, everybody else behind. My gifts and talents got to rise up. My name has got to shine. Pitiful, just pitiful how church folk behave, saying one thing, putting up smoke screens, and hoping that nobody knows. All that fake humility, but I pray that somebody can see that they're being strong armed with doctrine and twisted scriptures messing up their minds. Lord have mercy on that kind who exploit real church folk and never listen to a beating heart. Cynical it seems, but church folks are crushing dreams of old folks, young folk, you and me kind of folk, mega this and mega that, souls getting skinny, egos getting fat. Church folk is a low down, dirty shame. Using psychology, even theology, trying to control me. I ain't even studying that kind of church folk who forgot how God saved them when they didn't have nothing. Ain't nothing they got makes them better than my friend who sits in the park, counting the leaves on the tree in the daytime, and the stars in the sky at nighttime, after he got sick, real sick, with an incurable disease and lost his home, his heart, and his hope. Zion is calling me. And church folks, she's calling you too. Listen, church folks. I hope you enjoyed that. For the past 1,800 seconds, I've had the pleasure of being with you in your home, your car, your kitchen, your living room, wherever space you allowed me to share. I am thankful for that. Do me one more favor. At the conclusion of this, go and sing, and remember, come back and comment and let me know which song you listen to. And then go and look at some of my other inspirational moments. They're the short clips that I post throughout the week. Take a look at those, comment and tell me what you think about them. Thank you all again. I will be back in this space with you Thursday, and we will talk again. Until that time, keep on building community, maintaining connectivity, stay safe, stay sane, keep your heads up and keep your hopes up, and let's be happy. Good night.